Hey everyone. So we've got two interesting releases in the creative AI world. One is a new AI image generator that is the love child of two different companies. It is still an alpha, so consider this more of a preview of what's coming, although it looks really fantastic, and I'm sure a bunch of people are going to call it a Midjourney killer. I'm not going to call it a Midjourney killer, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. I've also got a look at a new and free AI video generator. It's really impressive, basically at Sora quality, and it was built by 4 people. And on that note, let's dive in. First up, we have Mystic. At least it's called Mystic for now. It's actually just a code name, which I sort of appreciate because, well, I mean, code names are just cool. Makes me feel like an AI spy. Mystic is brought to us via the recent acquisition of Magnific by Freepik. Magnific, as most of you know, is a creative image upscaler, so adding in the ability to generate images is a pretty big deal. It is interesting to note that all of this is happening basically in the wake of the recent acquisition of Leonardo.AI by Canva. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but first let's check out Mystic. The Mystic model is being hosted currently on the Freepik platform. Again, it is an alpha. I don't have codes for anyone, so just consider this a preview. Maybe as they move into beta, I'll be able to, score some beta codes for you guys. So for now, just take this video as an early look at what the model is capable of. And there's a lot of really interesting stuff in here. The UI looks great. Again, we're very early in, and this is all subject to change, but I think we've been in the game long enough that we've all seen a number of AI image generators, hit the scene with overwhelmingly bad UI. So yeah, I appreciate this minimalism. We do have a light and dark mode down here. As you know from my Midjourney tutorials, only psychopaths use light mode. On that note, let's run through Mystic with, our standard, a man in a blue business suit walking down a busy city street. Now, Mystic does have an AI prompt enhancer slider over here. That's something we've definitely been seeing a lot more in generative AI platforms. I'll run it both ways just to see how much of a difference there is before we run into all of the other various options here. So this is our man in a blue business suit without the AI prompt. So our generation, no cherry picking, this is just the first one, is a man in the blue business suit. He is just unfortunately facing the wrong direction. I do appreciate Mystic's commitment to realism. I mean, there are obviously tons of beautiful AI generated characters, and Mystic's like, I'm going to do George from accounting. So taking the same prompt out again, but this time putting the AI prompt slider on, we'll see what we get. And with AI assist on, we end up with this handsome fella. Now, I don't know if AI assist is like an automatic beauty slider. That bears further testing. So now let's take a look at some community generations to see the width of what the model is capable of. Eric Chevier gives us this very nice reflective image. Jesus Plaza gives us these very nice cinematic images. Was this dude in Rebel Moon? I didn't watch Rebel Moon. Did anyone watch Rebel Moon? Eleanor gives us these pretty stunning F1 images. Yeah, I mean, the color contrast here is just wild. I really love it. And Chris first shows us that Mystic can spell. Offhand, I'm not sure if what we're looking at is Flux under the hood. I do note that Freepik actually does have the Flux models already loaded up into their image generator. But obviously there is a little something more going on with Mystic. So I'm wondering if there isn't something injected into a Flux workflow here. So once you've issued a prompt, in this case, we're going to put a detective in a crime alley, just keep it very basic so that we can run through the options here. You do have things like control of your aspect ratio. We're just going to leave this in. Actually, you know what? We're going to take this down to 2:1, make it nice and cinematic. Under style, we have a number of different styles. I presume that these are Laura's low-ranking adapters. We'll leave it at photo for right now. And then under that, we have color. Under color, we have a couple of different scene looks. I presume that these will be filled out more as we get closer to release. For now, let's go with vibrant, see what happens there. Underneath that is camera. We do have a couple of different options here. I do think that text prompting will override this though, but for now, let's put it as a, let's go with the wide shot. And then finally, lighting, under which we have things like iridescent, dramatic, long exposure, indoor light, high flash, and neon. Now, what's interesting is that since Magnific is in here somewhere, I do wonder if at some point we might not also see Magnific's relight feature put in here as well. But for the meantime, let's hit create and see what we get. And indeed, we do end up with a detective in a crime alley. Not the detective that I was necessarily thinking of, but I mean, she does have the magnifying glass to find those clues. But look, check, it is a photo. It definitely is very vibrant, and it is a wide shot. And what do we put for lighting? Oh, we didn't put anything for lighting. So let's try this again real quick. And this time, let's give it some dramatic lighting and see what happens. And yes, things have now taken a more dramatic turn with our like Sam Spade meets Indiana Jones character in a crime alley that definitely is colored vibrantly. There's also some pretty cool stuff under the way, namely this structure button that is not active as of yet. What I tend to think that this is something like a control net where you can, have an image, add a conditioner to it, and then output an image with that same structure. This is actually from an older article, hence the anime girls. Remember when every example had anime girls? I'm glad those days are over. Funny enough, Firefly actually released this feature not too long ago, except nobody noticed because it's Firefly. So just to give you an idea of what it might look like, and taking this photograph of a ninja, if you see him, you're already dead, and then issuing in Firefly the prompt, a photograph of a man in a blue business suit, we ended up with this. And look, I'm going to give Firefly its due here. That was a pretty tough assignment. But yeah, I mean, it came through. Okay, heading back over to Mystic. You do also have an add image reference. Currently, there's not a lot that you can do with it, though. It basically just gives you a prompt. So it kind of acts a little bit like Midjourney's describe, for example. So I don't know, let's take our Firefly output and see what we get here. So loading him in and hitting use image, the prompt we end up with is a young Caucasian man with short dark hair wearing a blue hooded jacket, crouching down with his hands in front of him. So let's go ahead and run that in the style of dark. We're going to do a vibrant colors, vibrant dark, sure, why not? I'm going to leave the camera on shuffle, and we'll turn the lighting into, let's go neon, let's go crazy with it. Hit create and see what we get. And yeah, good job, Mystic. We have definitely come a long way from our ninja, but I mean, at least it's not a businessman wearing blue pajamas anymore. Now, where things get pretty interesting is in the post-processing side, because once again, Magnific is under the hood here. So we can reimagine our prompt here. It'll actually auto prompt. You can actually change various options in here as well, which I think is kind of neat. You can also change out the style and the aspect ratio, and then the imagination is how much influence that's going to have. Retouching is, it's basically just in painting. So, we have a nice brush size here. So if we wanted to say, get rid of this, fairly easy. We can also expand the canvas. This has actually become one of my more favorite features. So let's take him down into this corner here and run this. And we now have 16 different options to choose from. Not all of them are winners, but of course I didn't actually prompt for anything either, so it's just kind of making it up as it's going along. But yeah, I do enjoy this whole canvas extension thing, only because it really gives you the option of doing, off composition things. I don't know. I watched a lot of Mr. Robot. What can I say? And obviously, once we're happy with something, hitting the upscale button, this very much feels like it probably is, Magnific, essentially. So we're just going to leave that on the default. We'll give it some vivid imagination. Why not? And then upscale that either 2K or 4K. I'm just going to leave it on the 2K, see what we get. And yeah, pretty good. I mean, it did get a little weird over here, but I did leave it on vivid and did not really check the prompt all too much. But yeah, there is definitely a noticeable difference between our original and our upscaled version. Just to give you another idea of upscaling, here is our detective in Crime Alley. So that is a subtle upscale. Yeah, looks pretty great. Skin textures look really nice there. Yeah, it just adds just that little extra bit of detail and fidelity that I think really, really pushes a AI generated image into realism. Now, that said, I do think overall Mystic definitely leans pretty heavily into photorealism. For example, taking the prompt that I used for this image in Midjourney, kind of a Tales from the Loop inspired thing, and then running that in Mystic, yielded results like this, which is still super cool. It's just different. And actually playing around with some of the styles, I ended up with this, which I thought was really pretty interesting. And that kind of leads us to the whole Midjourney killer thing. Can we all just agree to stop with that? Midjourney has definitely proven itself to be a very capable model that can tackle a wide variety of styles. Mystic, Flux, and whatever else is coming down the pike are doing different things, and that's okay. It's actually better than okay. It's great because because we have choices. And I also don't think it's very fair to compare something that's in V1, or in the case of Mystic, and alpha, to, you know, something that is at V6.1. And just kind of circling back quickly to the story that sort of lives underneath this story is the fact that Mystic is part of Freepik. Now, I'll admit I've never been a Freepik user. It does seem to very much be in sort of the area of Canva, and Canva is of course now using Leonardo's Phoenix model as their image generator. At least I think they are. I don't know, actually. I don't use Canva. If someone uses Canva, please let me know if you've seen Leonardo in there yet. Which does make all of this feel like there is a bit of an arms race going on with these kind of like all-in-one template generating websites to have their own AI image generator. So I don't know, is Korea next? All in all, hats off to the Magnific team for Mystic. Yeah, it is shaping up to be a really pretty cool looking model. By the way, did you know that Magnific is just like two dudes? Yeah, it's Javi and Emilio. It's two dudes in an office somewhere in Murcia. I'll let you know as Mystic develops, and you know, maybe even when we find out what the real name of Mystic is going to be. I don't know. They shouldn't change it. Mystic has really kind of grown on me at this point. Moving on, we have a new AI video generator, and you can try it out for free right now. There is a catch. I mean, of course there's a catch. There's always a catch. But I think the story is actually more interesting than the catch. So this is Hotshot. It's basically a Sora level AI video generator, but here's the kind of cool part is that it was built by 4 people. John Mullen, Duncan Crawback, Chaitu Aluru, and Akash Satre, hope I got those names correctly, built basically Sora in 13 months. To quote Akash, as we tried building on top of open source and commercial video models, we quickly realized that 1, the base models would have to get much better, and 2, we would need control over the underlying model in order to build any compelling user experiences. So the 4 of us decided to build our own video models. So over 13 months, the team built 3 different video models. And what's actually, I really appreciate, Akash actually showed some clips from each of those previous generations. And I mean, it's kind of like a weird tour through the last 13 months of AI video, beginning with Hotshot XL, which generated 1-second videos at 8 frames a second, to Hotshot Act 1, which generated 3-second videos at 8 frames a second. And in the last 4 months, they got to the current model, which now generates up to 10 seconds of footage at 720p. Hotshot is very new and thus lacking in a few areas. I mean, it is yesterday new. So it is currently only doing text to video. It does not do image to video. It also currently, at least, appears to only be outputting 5-second clips. I know the standard has seemed to become 10 seconds. Quick aside, how are you guys finding the whole 10-second thing? Do you feel that that's enough? Do you want more generation time? Personally, I've been, pretty satisfied with 10 seconds. There's a wife joke there, but you know what? I am better than that. And probably biggest of all is that at least currently you can only generate 2 clips per day. I know you are not going to be making your giant 2-hour epic with it this week. But again, this is like day 2, so let's give them some time to plant their feet. I always appreciate an underdog and the fact that, again, 4 people built this. I think that's something that should be celebrated and supported. There is a paid version at $99 a month, so if you really feel like supporting them, I mean, you can do so that way. But for now, I would say for most of us, go over, give it a generation or 2. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So that's it for today. I'm still actually getting caught up on a lot of stuff from the week-long vacation that I very much needed, but I am extremely happy to be back with all of you. Thank you for watching. My name is Tim.